Alaikum. This is Zafar Abundance Wala. You're watching Global Abundance Organization Television, GAO TV. And look who's there. This is Andrea Mason. AndreaMason.com is her website. You can reach her there. And she is alumna of Les Brown. She is writer of Victim to Victorious. And she's not just a coach, but she's a life changer. She's a global thinker, and she's been all around the globe, and she's available on the clock. I mean, on she's on her Instagram, on YouTube channel,
Mhm.
on his website, on our website andreamason.com, and she's also available on Global Abundance Television on Abundance Show. So how are you doing, Andrea, today?
I'm doing excellent. I love the new setup, the new layout. You're vibrant, you're back in action, bright, smiling. It looks amazing. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, Andrea, today, I like to ask you some incredible story that has changed your life. Any event in your
Okay.
life, any story that has changed you altogether.
Yes, absolutely. One of the biggest stories of my life that changed forever was when I hit rock bottom. Now, some of you may say, well, rock bottom was when I lost my mother, but I'm going to take it back a little bit earlier when I was going through a deep, dark time where I didn't know where I stood. Betrayal was the number one experience and emotion that I've endured in life. So it was in my collegiate years going into my career. And I'll never forget that I didn't feel worthy enough. I didn't feel like I was doing anything of great value, great purpose. And what I decided to do was just shut out from the world. Ironic, isn't it? A couple of years later, here I am, public to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, our emotions can either be our masters or our messengers. It's really how we look about it. We can adopt the paralysis that negativity, toxicity, isolation, and abandonment can take upon us, or we can take it as a message and realize what is the underlying thread of that cause. Have you ever felt lost? Have you ever felt unloved, unworthy, felt betrayed that the world was against you? That you didn't have anybody in your corner, let alone your self reflection to empower you to move forward? You take 2 steps forward, you take 10 steps back. You share exciting news of how your dreams and goals and aspirations are come to be, only to realize that the closest loved ones don't even care. They don't even listen. Or even worse, they don't believe in you. This was a dark toll in my life of that of the lone wolf. I talk about it in my book as well as in my teaching, coaching, and speaking. Lone wolf is one thing to be grateful for because we do know that we can only change ourselves. Nobody can do it for us. We have to find the inner work within. But after some betrayal, some loss, some hurt, suffering, and pain, lone wolf can be that of the wolf of the shadows, not caring, being numb, not caring for ourselves, not even wanting to be here anymore. Does this sound like you? This was a moment in my life where the biggest transformation came. I didn't want to talk to anybody, let alone my family, my loved ones, my peers, my classmates, my colleagues, even myself. And what was I doing? I was deteriorating from in. I was getting sick. After I had a work's day of work or school or whatever the fact may be, all I would do was curl up on the couch and get lost in the virtual world of TV. Looking at different TV shows, aspiring the individuals and the characters in the screen, wondering if that there is an opportunity for me to live my life and be seen. Is this where you are today? Has your world been totally, completely upside down? Has your fears become so powerful they take over? Has your regrets become so relentless that that's all you hear and see? Have the mistakes become the masters of your mind and paralyze you not to move forward, to progress, to persevere, or to produce? Take it from me. Once you hit rock bottom, there's nowhere else to turn but up. My mentor, my kindred spirit, my coach, my friend, Les Brown says, if you fall, make sure you land on your back. Because if you could look up, you could get up. Paraphrased, of course. And that was what I did. I fell into the deep, dark hold of isolation, abandonment. Why me? Wondering how could this happen to one individual? Isolation, abandonment, abuse, bullying, neglect, betrayal, lied to, not believed in, nobody supporting me, not even myself. But that darkest turned the corner and the light was within. Because my sadness and frustration turned into anger. And instead of being a vigilante of vengeance, I turned that anger into fuel. I ignited that fire in. Why me? No, this is not going to happen anymore. This is not what I'm made for. This is not what I'm here for. I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to make impact and influence one step at a time. But first and foremost, I need to have self-awareness. I need to know who I am, where I am, what I am, how I am. And what the beauty about it is, any moment in your life, ladies and gentlemen, that could be now. Do it now. Procrastinate later was what one of my mentors said. Time is of the essence. We don't know how long we're here, but we know how long we've been here. We know how long we've learned, lost, ached, and pained. So my story is that of resistance to resilience. Resistance of not taking it anymore, not going to follow the herd, not going to be betrayed, but become resilient and take every experience and turn it into an exciting journey where I can help you. Back to you.
Thank you so much. I mean, these are jewel and gems and of wisdom. And I was just, I mean, as you're telling me your own story, I mean, I could see everything of my own self into, I mean, I was so deep down. It is a kind of
Mm.
movie that was just flashing back into my life. Thank you so much
Mm-hmm.
for being there. I mean, you
Yes.
speak always my heart out always. Thank you. Okay. Well, Peter H. Demandis, the Dr. Peter H. Demandis in Silicon Valley, he says the 2 days are very important in your life. The
Mm-hmm.
day you're born, and the other is why.
Yes.
Why? I mean, why are you here? And the purpose of your life, your massively transformative purpose, and that's the day. The second very important day in your life is when you know that. I mean, why are you here? What's your massively transformative purpose? So this is my question to you.
Hmm. I realized the day why I was here was literally the day the world changed in 2020. That's why it's funny I call it 2020 is hindsight when they talk about vision and prescription. But for me, it was a reality. Now, some may say, oh my goodness, that's so late in life. It's only 2025. You've had clarity for 5 years. But I look at the clarity as yes, things happen in due time. Things happen in due time. And with the time that we have, it's not dictated by us. It's what we do with the time that's given to us. And when I lost my identity, when I lost my job in 2020 and the business is shut down of social work, psychology, holistic, motivational, and medical fields, what was I going to do? What did I do? Everything was shut down. And did I really want to pursue that career? Or was that just a check box that I agreed at some time in my life I would go into? So I want you to look at your life. I want you to look at where you are at today. Is this the path you've chosen or is it somebody else's? And at any given moment, you have the choice to press play, plan life according to you. If you're stuck in a job right now or in a rut, reassess and look at the skill sets that you were hired for and what you've learned on the job, and learn how to, on the off hours, how to create your own. If you're stuck in a relationship, be bold enough and brave enough to take self reflection. Am I in love? Do I want to make this work? Am I being happy? And is my happiness interrupted by this other individual tearing down my dreams, hopes, fears? If I'm in a relationship with a family member and it's toxic, as I've mentioned some segments ago, forgive, move on, find something that that individual has done for you or someone else that's positive, and focus on that. The energy flows where focus goes, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to sharpen your lens and realize that the lenses you have are a fit prescription for you and no one else. As one of the amazing motivational speakers, Shuddy, I believe his name is Shuddy, is his last name, speaks about. Your prescription in life is not for anybody else, it's for yours and for your path that you choose. Back to you.
Ah, yes, Sherry speaks so sense. I mean, that's cool. And how about Anthony Robbins? He says, "Awaken the giant within." So, I mean, did you, wake the giant within yourself? And how did you do
Yes,
that?
yes, I've wakened the giant because my fears were taking over. My fears were my pilot in my life, my doubts. And so the way I wakened the giant, I realized I don't have to live this way anymore. I'm the pilot of my own life. And I just got sick and tired of the life I was leading because it was a life that I was living and not thriving. Back to you.
The one of the most blessed moment in your life is when you really rejoice your decisions.
Yeah.
The moment you really enjoy the decision that you made, that you have just quit the toxic relationship or any
Mhm.
person in or anything in your life, you just got rid of that and you are thankful to that. I mean, nothing beautiful than that can be in your life. I mean,
Yeah.
I really see. I mean, because if something is toxic and it's I mean, the best thing is to just get it up. But this is very difficult. How did you do this?
Yes. It wasn't easy. It took time. And for some reason, the world tells us we have to do things immediately and that success loves speed. In some regards, yes, it does. But a tree doesn't go overnight. So you have to take, first and foremost, we have to be patient. Patience is a virtue. For having patience, knowing that we can't change others. So, how do we expect to change ourselves? And that it is a process. When you have that heightening awareness and that ability to say enough is enough, be mindful at what age and what stage you're in your life, because now you're going to have to reset and reprogram. And doing that, I'll give you 3 key tips that helped me reset my life and go from resistance to resilience. Number one, I had to quiet the noise. I had to unplug from media, TV, news headlines, certain people, and but in doing so, to soften the pain, is thank you for being here for the time that you are here. Now it's time for you to move on. People and places and things are here in our life for a season and for a reason. So, step one, quiet the noise. Eliminate anything that is making you negative, toxic, or in your life that makes you not feel comfortable in your own skin. And in doing that, say, thank you for being here. Now it is time to let you go. Number two, to identify and have clarity where you want to be. Who do you want to be? What does your life look like? What does your income look like? What does your family lifestyle look like? And declare it to the universe and the belief creator system. Write it down. Be bold enough to be in great detail, and it will manifest. And finally, number three, which is most important, which I do at the bookends of every day, gratitude attitude. Because in order for us to make room for positivity, for brighter and better things, we must be grateful for not only the lessons in our life, but the losses. And those would be my key three tips. Quiet the noise, define who you are, and have gratitude attitude. Back to you.
Gratitude attitude. I mean, very difficult to acquire, but once somebody acquires this, I mean, this life becomes so beautiful and amazing.
Mm.
Okay, now since you are country head Colombia for Global Abundance Organization, and you are an ambassador of USA for Global Abundance Organization, what is abundance to you?
Abundance is living a life without fear and limitations. Abundance is knowing that the creator, your belief system, and your surrounding community is going to provide what you put out. If you are able to provide support, unconditional love, acknowledgement, intellect, and skill sets, that's going to come back to you twofold, if not more. And it goes back to the attention and intention modality. Having attention of being clear and direct on what you're going to provide with the intention that it's for the individual's benefit, health and wellness and well-being, and not a selfish act just to say you're contributing to others. Back to you.
Thank you so much. I mean, such a beautiful perspective. I mean, you have for abundance. Okay, what are your future plans for abundance? Rather, I'll ask the present plan and then future.
My present plan for abundance is developing different services, products, and events for individual of all walks of life. I remember where I came from, so I understand the up and coming developing countries may not have the financial stability to grow, but I'm going to make it work for a win win situation for them to personally and professionally grow with upcoming opportunities that I have for them. For my future abundance, it is going to be that of living out my legacy of unconditional love and having my services be available to anybody, anywhere, so they can thrive and be the face of change in the world that I deemed fit as being the face of change in mental health. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Andrea, how about what's the role of mental abundance for material abundance?
Mental abundance is what I've learned over my journey is a quote from Socrates. All I know is I know nothing. And that mental abundance is that you are constantly learning. Once you close your mind and your thoughts to the world or any connection you've made, good or unfavorable or indifferent, then you've stopped professionally and personally developing. Mental abundance is at today's world at your fingertips through technology, through our elders, through our cultures, through our history, through our actual history of conversations with others. Material abundance, it can be limited. It can be technology, it can be books, it could be memoirs, it could be webinars, and it could be tactile things of workshops or seminars you've attended. But the beauty about it is the word abundance. If you stop aiming to learn, then what is your purpose? Back to you.
Wow, that's amazing. And Arya, one thing there are a lot of things I learned from your side. One is where focus goes, energy flows. What's
Yes.
this?
Yes. So a lot of the motivational speakers use this quote, and part of me, I'm not sure of the actual author who utilized it. But what it talks about is, let me give you an example. When we go to a concert or a public event, We are solely focused on the information and the experience we gather, that we're not mindful or affected by the multicultural individuals around us. We're all there for a mission and a purpose to enjoy and celebrate whatever that event provides. If we go into a public place and our mentality is imbalanced or unstable, then we are focusing and shifting our energy to something negative or toxic. And what happens is our frequency will sometimes emulate that to the people that we're in connected with. So if you have a bad day and you're going into a public place and you bring that energy there because your focus is on something that hasn't happened positively that moment or that day, you're bringing that energy to your surroundings. What we call in the United States, misery loves company. So energy, your soul energy, we are all energy beings, light beings, and frequencies. If our energies are positive, we attract positive. If our energies are toxic and we focus on could have, should have, would have, don't have, and the lack of abundance, we're going to receive and be in that energy field as well. Does that make sense?
That does. That does. I mean, this is amazing. Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Any advice you'd like to give to 20 years old Andrea?
20 years old Andrea is to never stop asking questions. This is one of the big keys in the world that individuals, either out of fear of accountability, fear of responsibility, fear of judgment, we don't ask questions. We settle for what things are. We use the phrase, which gets me aggravated, it is what it is. Erase that statement from your vocabulary and know that if you ask the right questions and the proper questions, you'll be able to make a transformational shift in whatever you do. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much. In US, in your part of the world, in especially in US, you're there. People say, "Fake it till you make it." What is it?
Fake it until you make it, in some individuals' perspectives, is that of let me behave like I'm a millionaire. Let me behave like I am famous. Let me behave that I'm happy. But I don't agree with that, because in the law of attraction, what is taught most of the time is that as our energy and frequency fields in this movie, The Secret, and book, The Secret, we will, if we believe something, it will happen. Confucius says those who say he can, those who say he can't, are both usually right. Fake it till you make it is having the perspective, in my personal understanding, yeah, I'm famous, I'm going to act like I'm famous, but I'm not believing it. When you have belief, that's when you will receive whatever you're seeking. Back to you.
Oh, great! I mean, the book with the book in your hand, The Secret,
Yes.
by by Byron, the lady Rhonda Byron.
Yes.
And I mean, she says, I mean, once you just decide with
Yes.
conviction, the whole world conspire for you to make
Yes.
it happen. So, I mean, do you agree to what she says? I
Absolutely.
mean, her thesis is.
Absolutely. And it's kind of fearful when it first happens, because we aren't in the mindset in society that we have this ability. If we had this ability, then I truly believe there won't be conflict, there won't be war, there won't be greed, there won't be, any of the negative toxicity in the world. If you look at life, ask, believe, receive, and you have a belief system, and you have a creator that you are thriving for and truly connect with, things are going to happen. I fear that the world is losing or lacking a belief system or some sort of higher power or creator for direction and guidance. Because if they weren't, then they'd understand we are all good human beings. We have the ability and opportunity to be good. But something has happened to us and we haven't gone or healed through it. So, as Rhonda Byrne says, ask, believe, receive. Put it in your mind, and then you can hold it in your hand. I speak about this in my book. Everything, once I've gained clarity with alignment with my muscle mind, my heart, and my spirit, and my belief system, it too shall appear. Start small. If you want to learn how to do this, look at The Secret or connect with me. Start in small increments, because once you have that ability, you can't unlearn it. And if not used properly, it will happen regardless. Back to you.
Great. I mean, this is fantastic analysis. Okay. My next question is, what are the similarities between you and Byron, with the lady Randa Byron? I mean, when you both are writers, and you both been through different stuff. I mean, very difficult one. So, what are the similarities? I mean, your thinking and your physical world. I mean, are there? Do you find some similarities too?
Yes, I believe that, what we both experienced, I can only speak from my personal experience, but when reading and watching The Secret and understanding it, is that we all have experiences in life. And we are people pleasers by habit, unfortunately. And by women, we are nurturers and we put ourselves last always. We don't take care of ourselves. And when she talks about the ability and choice to really take hold and manifest what you want, because the world is abundant, the creator and everything that we're seeking is already seeking us. We just have to have faith and focus on it. And when she talks in her writing about the experiences of law of attraction, the experiences of we are what we think, what we eat, what we believe, I was able to adopt that and adapt that, not only to inspire me to write my book, Victim to Victorious, but have a transformational mind shift, that thought process that I'm not good enough, that there's not enough in the world, to yes, I am the one, I am chosen, this is why this is given to me, good, bad, or indifferent, and there's enough abundance in the world for everyone. So yes, I found the similarities. Yes, absolutely.
This is amazing. I mean, I really
Yes.
rejoice the similarities from Chancellor. Again, this low
Hmm.
self-esteem damages
Right.
personalities in there's a lot of countries like
Hmm.
ours. We are generally at low. I mean, we think otherwise, but actually, we are facing low self-esteem. What's the solution?
Yes, when we experience low self esteem, there are three factors that come into effect with our self esteem. It's our programming of our childhood or our past. It is the experiences on a daily basis of the external influences of social media, the news, the authorities in the world that are going to war. And thirdly, really suppressing our own identity because we don't have one. 9 times out of 10, people say, yeah, I am so and so. But we don't take the deeper layers to realize who we are. So low self-esteem can be produced by sometimes subconsciously from, ancestral roots embedded in our spirit. Sometimes low self-esteem can be from our family members of what we witness, observe, or experience. Other times it could be, like I said, the external influences. But what we have to realize, Zafar, with abundance is we have the choice to accept or reject. And if we accept the lifestyles that have been portrayed of us that are not helpful for us, then we're just adding on to the low self esteem mindset. But if we reject it, that may be what they believe. I'm going to do a moral value self check on myself to see if that's what I believe. And if it's not, I'm going to reject it. So we do have a choice. Low self esteem can be visualized in many forms: lack of poor hygiene, lack of appetite, loss of hobbies, loss of interest, loss in relationships, both intimate as well as personal and professional. So, in order to really see, do I have low self esteem? Don't go in denial. Do the assessment tool and ask yourself those questions. Am I happy? And if I'm not happy, what are the areas in my life that I have control to make the adjustments? Back to you.
Thank you so much. I mean, it seems like, I mean, you're putting solutions in cup of tea. I mean, it's so easy, making solutions so easy to the very difficult problems. Thank you so much. I mean, there is another question that I wanted to ask you. How we people, we do have self-image, has a very high self-image. Generally people do
Mhm.
have. I mean, how to cope up with false self high image.
Yes. Social media, I believe, can be a tool or treasure or a weapon because it's media, and there's a lot of scams out there and there's a lot of masks that are being worn. And I think to have a high self image for me is being transparent, is being authentic, acting with integrity. Because think about it, if you meet someone on social media, for example, you connect with someone from another region, and by the universe and God's grace, you're able to meet that person, and they aren't what they've been portrayed on as social media, that kind of questions their regard for high self-image. I'll never forget meeting Suryan Ala Awala a couple of months ago in person, and we just laughed and had a great time. And he's just like, "You're a little bit different than you are on screen." And I said, "How so?" He's just like, "You're just kind of down to earth and not so analytical and all of facts." I said, "Well, to be honest, I didn't think I was coming across that way. I'm pretty real as it is. I have videos and everything." And he said, "Yeah, but it's also the energy that you bring in the physical." And he reminded me to bring that to the virtual because I don't get a chance to meet all my supporters and the people online. So I guess a fact check to have high self image is to say, this is who I am. Let me reach out to a couple of strangers across the waters and across the borders. How do you see me? And this is the kicker: be bold enough and brave enough to ask your inner circle, friends, family members, even your coworkers or strangers, how do you see me? And that will define if you are sticking to your true high self image. Back to you.
Thank you so much. I mean, I really can't thank you enough, because I mean, you all the time you bring so jewels of wisdom to me
Welcome.
that makes my life so easy and
Yeah.
smooth. And you are solvers of my issues. Thank you
Yes.
so much for being with us. I mean, see you on Monday.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Have a great, wonderful, amazing weekend. Support Zafar. He's doing great works. He bounced back. He's resilient. He went from resistance to resilience. Support him. And I'll see you next week on Monday.